What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Did want to do a quick live feed for you guys today. The subject matter we're talking about is something that we went over before, and that's pretty much a sacrifice for 2026. Hey, what's going on now? Appreciate you tuning in, Nikki. Thanks for tuning in. I had a few minutes. So I came in the office today. I've been taking a hiatus, but I came in my office today and just want to go over a couple notes with everything we got to show tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about with the economy crash in 2026. It's going to be a good discussion. I just got a text from DJ Lab, so I don't necessarily know if anything going to be whether I may or may not be in the studio tonight. But I keep everybody posted. But regardless, we're still going to have the live feed. And then again, that'll be with a market crash and with the economy crash in 2026. But what I want to talk about with you guys now is something that we spoke on a couple of weeks ago. That's really just sacrificing. So I want to just go over that again because some people catch it, some don't. We got videos on the YouTube channel, but we just want to revisit that subject matter. And it basically just talking about sacrificing for 2026. Everybody, when we get to this time of year, we have different goals and different objectives we want to do for the following year. And we get to this time of year and we ain't met none of them, right? Usually why we haven't met none of them because the structure and the plans that we have in place to get everything done is not set up for us to be, successful with. Your personal shortcomings. If you're too busy. If you're not disciplined. If you're not focused, right? So we write anything down on paper that we want to do and plans we have, but we don't have certain things in place for ourselves. We're not going to make it happen. So I want to have a quick discussion because a lot of times, we all always talk about different ways we want to be successful and different things that we want to do, but we don't want to be uncomfortable in that journey. We want to do it the way we want to do it. And the thing about it, if you just be realistic with yourself, if everything was easy to do, you can just choose to do it, you would do it. Everybody will be what they want to be in their life, right? Nobody will be in a situation where they don't have what they don't want to have or not, right? So we're going to have a quick discussion in regards today just to talk about sacrifice. Again, we're talking, just being what you got to sacrifice for success in 2026. And the truth about sacrifice is when people hear the word sacrifice and think struggle, they think struggle, suffering, or pain. But sacrifice really is just trading something good for something better. It's all it is, trading something good for something better. You're right. It don't have to be something uncomfortable or painful. It's all about mindset, how you want to approach. Okay. If you think it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. If you think it's just going to be a process, it'll be a process. You determine it, the impact it's going to have on you, if it's going to be a positive or negative thought. Okay, so you guys are in charge of how you want that to fall into place. And if you want growth, something in your daily life has to shift because you can't just say, I want to be in this, but you still sleep in all damn day. You binge on Netflix, you got all your Hulu and all that kind of stuff. You stay up all night doing that. You wake up sleeping tired. Scroll on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram all damn day long, right? And you say yes to every outing. You got to go out there. You got to stay outside. We're in Atlanta. Everybody got to be out there. You got to brunch. You got to hunt. You got to do all this kind of crazy stuff. But you don't really want to put in some kind of time for your business, or you spend money where you don't necessarily need to spend money, right? Those kind of things you got to sit here and just say, okay, I want to be here, but in order for me to be here, I got to do these things. People want to do these things. These things can create some kind of slight uncomfort or change in your life. And everybody don't want change. Everybody don't want to be uncomfortable, but they want the results that come along with being uncomfortable, with making certain changes in their life. And realistically, they're not going to happen. Regardless if you want to admit to it or not, it's just not going to happen because if it did happen that easy, You have every damn thing you want, right? That's just being realistic. Success is earned in the areas people don't see: the quiet hours, the late nights, and the early mornings. That's it. I say it all the time. I work 20 hours a day, so I work 40 hours a week. I'm not saying that in terms of everybody got to be an entrepreneur, everybody got to get a job or anything like that, but you got to be realistic about what you got to give up. Nikki said change is needed. Absolutely. And guys, what I always want people to understand is that um, if you were doing, everything in a certain way to get you in a certain position, we won't have these conversations, right? You'll just be there, right? That's just the gist of it. There's nothing wrong with just uh, feeling a certain type of way about doing certain things. Man, I ain't got time to do that. I don't want to be bothered with that and everything like that. You're entitled to feel how you feel, but you got to be realistic about the results that are going to come about you doing it that particular way. Okay, and that's just being honest. That's just being honest. That's why far too often I see it on social media all the time, and I get excited when I see somebody decide to start a new venture, start a new business, and everything like that. And I think it's cool, right? But at the end of the day, the shit fills out because the other stuff that come along with it. The easiest thing you just do is go get your LLC, get your tax ID number, get your business license, get your business bank account, get you a Zelle, get you a Stripe. That's the easy stuff, right? Sacrificing your time, staying up late, hearing no after no after no after no while you're trying to get new customers. That's the stuff they're going to determine how you if you built for something or not, right? When you sit down and you've done all those kind of things, put all those things in place, and there's been really no result, no tangible result, i.e., money, i.e., recognition, i.e., followers or subscribers and stuff like that. That's not happening, and you just got to learn how to redirect certain things. That's when going to determine, how successful you're going to be, right? Because it's not a point of things failing or things going wrong. It's just learning moments, right? You just have to learn from that. I got this on. My son's calling me. Get you back, PJ. Those things you got to be realistic about. So we want to talk about the things you got for you to be successful in 2026. I'm going to go over in depth a few things that you guys are going to have to sacrifice. And the first one, guys, is basically time. A business is a time investment, right? You being successful, it's going to be a time investment. You're not buying a business, you're building one, right? When I'm saying business, we're just talking about success period, right? If you want to actually improve yourself and start a business, most we talk about entrepreneurship on the YouTube channel, but you're going to have some kind of time investment, guys. That means you got to, sacrifice probably some fun stuff in your life. It ain't going to kill you. It ain't going to kill you. It ain't going to kill you. You're just paying for it. Just look at it as an investment, okay? You just can't. When you feel like I'm too tired, I got to do certain things, I worked all day and all that kind of stuff like that, you're going to have to do something different to put you in a different situation. I'm just that's just the reality of it. If you think you'll be able to do it under your terms, try it. Try it. But it's been tried before, right? And most of the time, I'm pretty sure most people that have went down that avenue of trying to make things different in their lives, i.e., a business, i.e., new job, i.e., moving relationships. If you're doing the same thing, you get the same results, right? And, I know it sounds cliche and you hear it all the time, but you got to be willing to do things that are different. That's just the reality of everything, right? So that means you got to sacrifice the time you spend playing video games, on social media, hanging out with people, watching shows, or sleeping more than you need to. Now, I'm a very big advocate of getting your rest. I'm a very big advocate of that. But we know we sleeping in, we want to just chill out all day. You can't get that time back. You need to carve out what I call sacred time that belongs strictly to your grind. Again, we got to carve out that sacred time. That sacred time, that means there can be no distractions. That means family, friends, lovers, unlovers, bill collectors, anybody. Unless you just see, smoke coming through the damn upon the door or fire, anything like that. But that sacred time got to be set strictly for that. And you might look like, waking up an hour early, working on your business after the kids go to bed, using your lunch break, just for your study time, distractions. You're going to have to get rid of something that's convenient to you, that you feel like, okay, that you need to make you feel better for yourself. You got to cut back on something, right? We only got 24 hours in the day. Okay, hold on one second. Follow my camera here. Let me see. Y'all bear with me 1 second. We'll make sure I ain't got no technical difficulties going on with this. Let me see. I'm looking on the Facebook. I see Instagram and TikTok still going. I think something going on with the Facebook. Let me see what we at with this. Here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the Facebook, but we ain't gonna major in the minor. They'll catch us when they catch us, right? We're gonna get that together. What's going on here? Okay, well we'll leave that alone. They'll catch it, again they'll pop back up when it does. But again, sacrificing that time. The time is the first sacrifice because it's the most valuable. Why is the most valuable? Because once time is spent, you cannot get time back. Once time is spent, you can't get time back. You cannot grow a business or anything in particular if you're unavailable to your own dream. If you too busy to make stuff happen, things just won't happen. That's just the reality of it, right? So we have to be realistic about when we start talking about sacrifice, especially for 2026. What are we going to be willing to give up? Again, some of those social things and stuff, we just got to readjust and revisit some of the things, some of the ways we go about certain things. I just want to, again, I can't overstress that to you guys enough. The second, guys, is money. Starting a business doesn't always require huge investment, but it does require a responsible one. So again, you don't have to necessarily empty out the bank and spend all your money, but you got to sit there and say, okay, I ain't got thousands of dollars to put in there, but it's $150, $200. We need to make sure we rock solid with making that stuff happen. Okay. Far too often people look at it like, I ain't got enough money. It's going to cost this. It's going to cost that. Your entry into everything, it may vary from person to person, right? So just because that you have, I'm sorry. Let me see. This Wi-Fi stuff acting real funky over here. We'll make it happen. But just your pathway, your entry into everything, it may be different from person to person, right? So we can't necessarily just say, well, if I see someone close to me, say a family member, a friend, they got into a business, they want to start a bakery, they want to start a trucking business and things like that. That pathway to get in may vary from the way I got to do it and understand it. We got to be realistic about your journey to get something done is going to be totally different from mine. So from a perception standpoint, it may seem like it's easy for them to do it, and it may be totally very, very uncomfortable for you to do. It's just your different pathway, okay? So we start talking about things to be successful for 2026. That number 2 being money, and I'm gonna recap everything also, guys. But that second one being money, you gotta really cut back on unnecessary spending. I ain't gonna never tell you to sit here. I've seen Daniel John said burn up the furniture, do all that other kind of stuff. I ain't gonna tell you to do all that. I'm a big proponent of enjoying life, and if you concerned about making more money and things like that, you want to be able to enjoy your money, but you just got to have to, cut back on things you think are necessary if you're going to need some kind of capital investment to start your business or keep it running. Some of y'all don't necessarily have money problems, just more so a discipline problem. You impulsive, see shopping and things. We did the show the other week with the Black Friday and everything, not necessarily going broke on the holidays, and those triggers that make people spend money that they don't necessarily have or things they need to have allocated to other things. You got to be able to avoid those, guys. You got to be smarter with doing it, especially want to make some kind of capital investment for ourselves to be successful with our business. And if you can buy Jordans and fast food every day, go on vacation and trips, bottle services and all kind of other things to impress people, you can have at least $200 to invest in your business. You don't want a business. You want the idea of being an entrepreneur. That's most folks. I've said it many times. I don't think most people necessarily want to be business owners. I think they want more freedom, more money, more autonomy, whatever it is, and those can get met. Then they can do that. So, but you got to be realistic if you want to make that kind of impact and grow things in your life with your career, your business, or any kind of venture you're trying to have for being successful in 2026. You got to be able to have yourself some kind of decent budgetary process to help you get there. Okay, sacrifice means redirect your money from consumption to creation. Sacrifice means redirecting your money from consumption to creation. Okay, you ain't broke, guys. Sometimes your priorities are, but you ain't necessarily broke. Sometimes the priorities kind of a little bit off, a little bit on the spectrum and stuff like that. But we can get them back on track when we start reorganizing everything to get on the right pathway for us to be successful. Okay. Again, we're talking about being successful in 2026. Another one, guys, is comfort. Kind of alluded to this earlier. Comfort is the biggest dream killer. Comfort is the biggest dream killer, guys. Starting business or doing something different requires you to be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with learning new skills. Uncomfortable failing. Uncomfortable being judged. Uncomfortable not having all the answers. Uncomfortable trying something new. A lot of people stay stuck because they are addicted to being comfortable. I mean, I've heard many times people say, okay, I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to go into a situation where you can be totally confident and totally proficient in different things in your life. And now all of a sudden you just can't get certain things on track, right? I understand. But at the end of the day, well, like I said before, we want to be in a different stratosphere and do things differently. We're going to have to go through that, right? There's no dumb questions. There's no dumb processes. If you got to go back to school and you're the oldest one in the classroom, that's all right. Because at the end of what I said before, we know what we're trying to be. We know what we're trying to do, right? I'm a big proponent. People say all the time, some people are too old, or why you waiting so late to go back to school and do certain stuff. If you're going to be in the same situation, me personally, this is my perspective with it. If you're going to be in the same situation 5 years from now, why the hell wouldn't you go back to school? If I'm still going to be at that same damn company, doing the same damn thing, why wouldn't I invest in myself to get a skill set? Like, again, guys, just shift your mindset. It ain't that, man, I ain't got 4 years to go back to school and do that. If you still going to be at the same damn spot, right? I would rather be in the same spot with the ability to earn more income, to be able to ascend because I got some more credentials. I got that education or whatever you need to actually be able to ascend. You're invested in yourself with doing it. Don't necessarily look at it like, I'm too busy, I'm too old or whatever. But especially if you're going to be in the same damn spot, it makes no sense to me that if you're going to stay at that company, you're going to stay in that situation, you don't continually try to improve yourself. Because what happens is you get somebody that did that. They got their credentials, they got the education and did it, and they put up ahead of you, and you have more time. That's not a good feeling. Because you didn't want to do it because your outlook on everything, right? Don't ever feel like it's too late. Don't feel like you don't wasted time. Don't feel like you're too old. Just focus on being selfish. You improving yourself. And that's all you owe. So we start talking about being successful, guys. You got to make sure you got that comfort zone. If you want to grow, you got to get used to being uncomfortable. That's it. You got to be. Don't worry about, am I going to say the wrong thing or whatever? Ask the damn question you need to ask. And if they don't damn understand, keep saying it over and over again. Hell, go chat GPT, go on Google or whatever. Don't feel dumb because you're trying to get somewhere. So that's one of the biggest things, guys. When I'm first generation everything. Going to college, business owner, self-employed, and all this stuff. And I've been in business over 26 years. So I'm not just sitting here telling you certain damn things, just my opinion that I ain't never been through. And I've been in them rooms where I was just so, I remember when I went, when I first got in corporate America, you talking about late 20s, and never, ever had any kind of social education. So what I mean by that is, you go on these corporate lunches and shit. I'm military, so I'm used to 45 days in the field. We still eating with our hands, not nothing. And I'm not going that barbaric, but just processes of which fork to use, what spoon to use, waiting for everybody to get plated and all that kind of stuff. And man, my ass was lost. I was so uncomfortable. And the effed up part about it, I was so damn hungry. I was so damn hungry, but I was afraid to eat because I didn't want to look like, man, I got all these white folks sitting around me. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, look at you, and I had to go through that, right? But I didn't let that stop me. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want you guys to understand it's not nothing uncommon to be uncomfortable. But again, we start talking about we want to sin, we want to grow, we want to change things. You have to do that, right? I, Look, my ass was hungry. I knew I was gonna be going to all these damn different lunches in downtown Atlanta and Buckhead. I'm working in corporate America. Listen, your ass better get on YouTube, learn table etiquette, learn these different things, or your ass is gonna be hungry. And I love to eat, so we weren't even gonna entertain that guy. So be okay with that. Sacrifice the life you're used to for the life you want. Sacrifice the life you're used to for the one you want. We trying to be healed. We there. We love ourselves, right? But we want to be healed. So we got to kind of do some things different and be okay with it, right? Be okay with it, right? The next thing, guys, social life. Now, I like to party. Anybody know me? I like to have a good time. I like to go to my lounges, have my scotch, have my cigar. Love to see pretty women walking around and everything like that. Trust me, I love life. I love enjoying myself. But at the end of the day, we start talking about sacrificing 2026. Some things got to go. And let's talk about this one. The social life is going to have to change, not because you're acting funny, because what? You have become focused. We got to make sure we focus, right? And so the partying, the lifestyle, and all that stuff like that, we ain't saying don't do it, saying, table it off because we're trying to do certain things. We have gone focused. And I tell people all the time, when I am focused, when I am committed, I don't think too many people in this world can touch me. That's the thing about it. You have to, when you start talking about putting yourself in a different situation and stuff, tunnel vision, tunnel vision, tunnel vision. We built our accounting firm, tax business up from in 2001 to where we are now. And I put my face in the dirt because when I first started, the first couple of years, I'm moonlighting with it. We're doing certain stuff. I'm like, no, I know I can do more. I knew I can do more, but I had to just sit here and say, I'm here. I want to be there. And I put my face in the dirt, and it was the rest been history, right? Same thing we did with the YouTube channel. When I'm fully committed, ain't nothing I can't do. And there's nothing special about me that you guys can't do either. So you got to be willing to sacrifice some of that social stuff. You might got to sacrifice them Friday nights, weekend brunches, club nights, random kickbacks, or group chats to drain your energy. Don't midday, hey girl, guess what it is? Hey bro, we're going to do this. Hey, look, I got something to do, y'all. I love y'all. I want to speak with y'all because people think you're tripping. You can feel like you're tripping. You can feel like, because people might have been there for you during certain times. You might feel like you're missing out on doing things for them. You ain't. Your for real family and friends that love and care about you, they understand. They might not like it and they might miss you. But at the end of the day, again, we got to be selfish when we start talking about doing things for us. We got to be selfish with that. And, entrepreneurship for the real part has seasons. And in the building stage, the sacrifice is isolation. When we start building, you gotta pull yourself away from everybody. You gotta pull because at the end of the day, no one is obligated to see your vision of where you're trying to be. No one obligated for that, right? If you sit there and see yourself and you're talking to your significant other, you're talking to your close family friends, I want to have this, I want to have that. They're not obligated to see what you see. Only person that's obligated and stay fixed on it is you. It's great to have support. It's great to have people that have bought into your dream and do things like that. It's great to have it. But most times it's not going to be sustained with people because at the end, they even initially start off, everybody's cool, they sharing your posts and they doing all this other kind of stuff. But that shit gonna get old to them eventually, right? They still care about, still love you, but you got to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Especially if you don't get immediate success from it. And sometimes you got to disappear to level up. Sometimes you got to disappear to level up. And the people who support you will totally understand and they'll be there waiting for you. Real talk. I never forget my high school graduation practice. Coach Sherry, he said, that a lot of y'all don't understand. We out there joking and BSing around and shit. I remember Coach told us, he said, man, y'all joking around and y'all don't understand what's going to open up for you guys. You just talking about how cruel the world was and stuff. And he was just like, some of y'all, in the next 5 years, gonna be dead, pregnant, don't want nobody to see you. Some of your buddies that you hang with every day, you ain't even gonna speak to them no more because you're just gonna go in different directions. When you young, 17, 18 years old, all right, coach. But the man was telling the truth. And as we grow and we develop, and I like to use evolve, because so many times people will say, well, you changed or they changed. We evolve, right? As you get old and stuff, you're supposed to stay the same, person. You can be grounded in, how your values and stuff like that. But we all want to evolve, right? That's part of growing up, right? We want our kids, want the babies to do it. Shit, as adults, we need to do it too, right? You don't necessarily everybody got to start a business, or everybody got to do certain stuff, but you're gonna develop and grow more and stuff like that. And you determine the depth of your evolution, okay? But again, get that social life up, okay? Set them boundaries up with yourself. Put the timers on for the TikTok. Put the timers on for the social media. Like, hey, cool, but I got to focus on this stuff. So be okay with that. Again, we're talking about sacrifices for success for 2026. It's just a month and a half around the corner, so we need to kind of get prepared for it. And the other was just that pride and ego. Now, listen, I'm a very confident man. I don't like being wrong. Everybody that knows me, grow up with me, know I am that way, and there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes we got to sit here and just say to ourselves, like, hey, I'm trying to be here. I ain't too good to do that. I ain't too big to do that. I don't want to, I can't see myself doing that. But I want to be at a certain spot. I've had too many clients, guys, if you don't know, I'm an accountant by profession. I've been in business 26 years. I had too many clients that had money or access to money, and they want to do something they had no experience with, i.e., want to start a club up, want to start a restaurant up because they have someone that's close to them or themselves that could cook delicious meals and everybody goes crazy for it. But they have no restaurant experience, no bar experience. They go there and get drunk, have a good time, but they don't understand, ordering, staging, processing, pricing, those kind of things that require you to be, experienced with when you want to go into a particular industry. So when I suggest, hey, go work at Red Lobster for 6 months to a year, go, work at a certain bar, get your experience. Man, I ain't doing that. I can't see myself doing that. I can't do it because you feel like unless they can say I'm the owner, I'm the one in charge, I'm above that shit. But see, the thing of it is that when things don't go right, we can get broke real quick, right? We can get broke real quick, and everything that you work for, everything that you're gonna sacrifice, that money you done save to build up, to open that club or open that bar, and she gone in 3-4 months, right? And you doing all kind of crazy stuff. You posting on social media, you paying this person, paying that person, and it's not giving you the return that you thought. Because I see this guy on social media, all the other restaurants are doing that. We want to offer brunch, and then we want to do karaoke, then we want to do ladies' night. But at the end of the day, that stuff that you can be busy with doing is not translating into what dollars, and you can't figure it out. But if you sit there and just sacrifice some time, pride, and ego, that you go and work in this restaurant for a little while, hey man, you like, okay, now get experience, and you see why certain things don't work. Now that might work for them, but it doesn't work for here. We got this age group going. I understand, and I'm just going to stay focused with this. And you putting yourself in a position to get educated and experience with certain things that a person that didn't know would never know, right? So when we start talking about ego and pride, that's massive with entrepreneurs. It's massive with doing that, and you have to sacrifice your pride. You can't be too proud to start small, make mistakes, ask for help, ask for help, ask for help. I am in the position I am in right now because I had no problem asking people questions. And that's how I do with my sons. I mean, I don't be bragging, but just being real. I'm a black father, 4 sons. 3 of them went to college. Got one on his way to get ready to go there and everything like that. 2 of them graduated. One got his master's, one finna get it. I mean, I done did my thing with them because what I always looked at, the brothers that was in those positions, I had no problem. Hey man, what you do with your son? What you do right? What you do wrong? If you go back and change things, what would you do differently? I ain't had no damn problem. Same reason I got my son. One played Division I SEC football, never paid one penny tuition, almost $400,000. Same thing, other son had a military scholarship, never paid a penny. Got one finna get ready to graduate from college in another year. Shit, I had to pay a little bit for his house, a little bit. But overall, same thing. I asked people that were in the position. Same thing with his tax business, same thing with the YouTube. I paid, I asked, I inquired. I had no problem with people blowing me off, telling me no, but ask questions. You have no idea how many people have access to me, close family members and friends, and they'll sit here and they'll come to me when things have got totally effed up, right? You know, they damn near on the doorstep of bankruptcy, and now they ask me questions. I can't fix that shit. I can't fix that shit. Now, when things are kind of getting rocky, you got questions, help you out all day and night. When it's going down, that ship got all them holes in it, it's going in the water. Hey, you better holler Geronimo or walk the plank. Ain't nothing I can do to help you, but ask questions, guys. Ask questions. There's too many times I talk to people and I know they don't know better. I got it, I know. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. No, you don't. If you know, why the hell why are you asking me? Why are you starting off the conversation? It's cool when not knowing. And if you ask a question, people look at you like you stupid or they giggling, all that stuff, that's on them. That's on them. Like I said, we're trying to be here. I don't give a damn about folks try to look at me certain ways. I know how successful I've been. I got all this shit on this wall, all the accolades and stuff like that, because I ain't give a damn about how other folks see me. I mean, and what I mean by that, I'm talking about as far as tangible stuff and everything like that. I'm gonna make sure, as far as, my thing in the community, as far as, being respectable, things like that. But we talking about trying to ascend to do stuff. I don't give a damn about that stuff. I know I'm trying to get my money. So if somebody look at me funny or laugh at me or do this, that, and that shit on them. I got to put all that stuff to the side. I know what I'm trying to be, right? No problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. When I had started the janitorial business back in the early 2000s, all that stuff, I ain't give a damn about cleaning up damn toilets. I ain't have to be sitting here smoking cigars and saying this, that, and that. I like to chill, I like have a good time. I got to get my money. So I'm just saying to you guys, don't get caught up in that. Don't worry about failing in public, how people gonna look at you or saying certain stuff. And if you looking like a beginner, the giggles and shit, damn that. Again, we're talking about sacrifice for 2026. Do not let your pride, do not let your ego stop you from being successful. Because at the end of the day, it's always somebody that got more than you. It's always somebody above where wherever. So why are you be obligated to look a certain way? Right, and I understand the social media world, and I see these tax businesses. They're saying, hey, you can start your 6-figure tax business and do all this kind of stuff. That's bullshit. It will be very, very hard. I'm just saying, when you say it's from a common sense standpoint, where I'm 26 years in business. If you just start from a common sense standpoint, do you think you're going to find a lot of complete strangers that's going to give you their name, social security number, address, bank account, kids, and all that kind of stuff off the rip? And you going to be able to do that? No, and they're not. They're not. It's not. As building, you can definitely get there. But coming off starting, it'll be very, very hard. And I understand people say what they say. But it's somebody that's been in the game for a minute. It ain't that easy, right? So going through learning the systems, learning how to acquire customers, how to process, how to talk to folks, how to train people, do all that kind of stuff. You're gonna say the wrong thing, you're gonna feel dumb, you're gonna feel like, man, I shouldn't have did this, and question yourself and that like that. Man, you're learning. And ain't nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is not putting yourself in a position to kind of get those experiences, okay? So, but your ego will keep you broke. That ego keep you broke. You have to sit there and feel like you're above certain stuff. You ain't gonna make no moves, and your pride will keep you uneducated. You'll never get experiences and stuff like that because you think you're too big for it, whatever. I heard too many times people tell me, I'm too old for that. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got whatever. And their current situation is so effed up. But they pride is so big they won't never make no difference with themselves. I never understand it. The need to look successful will keep you actually from becoming successful. You know what I'm saying? The need to look will just keep you to just look like you got things will keep you from being there. Just keep that in mind. Humble yourself enough to learn, and that's the real sacrifice. Humble yourself to learn, that's the real sacrifice. Again, we're talking about sacrifice for success in 2026. Lastly, and this is what a lot of time will catch a lot of folks, and all has been guilty of that, and that's really just making excuses. The biggest sacrifice is not the time or the money, it's the excuses. That's the thing about it. You got to sacrifice. I'm tired. I don't know how. I don't have support. I started next month, next year, next quarter, whatever, next lifetime. I'm too old. I'm too busy. I'm waiting until things are perfect. I wait till I get right. It'll never come. It'll never come. It'll never come. I've heard people say it over and over and over again when they got some kind of rebuttal for certain things. It's always that, and guys, I totally understand, not being in the right things, not necessarily being right in regards to, hey, I'm in the middle of a bankruptcy, I'm in the middle of a divorce, I got to get my son. I get that part. You got things going on, and realistically, you don't have the funds or the time to do that at a particular point. But at some point, we got to make things happen, right? So, in what we just said, it's comfort. We ain't gonna be totally convenient, but I do understand. You only got 24 hours in a day, 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 brain. Got it. But we got to make sure we get rid of them excuses, okay? Those I can't because of this, that, and that. Shit ain't gonna change for you. It's not. And we do know at the end of the day, we're all getting older. We all gonna die one day. You do not want to let things pass you by because you sit there making all the excuses, the reason possible that it didn't happen, okay? So let me ask you again. Look at me, guys. Let me ask you one more time for get ready to wind everything down. What are you willing to sacrifice for the life that you say you want? What you willing to give up? What you willing to give up, guys? Listen, you gotta understand that for the change to happen, you gotta do things totally different because your business or your success doesn't grow on dreams. It grows on discipline. I do the same boring shit every morning that I've been doing since I was in the Army. So we talking about over 30 years. I've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? Routine, got to be disciplined, guys. When you start in any kind of business venture and all that kind of stuff, you want to do it. Remember, when you Donnie Lynn says true, appreciate that. When you start something different and you go to your job, they got the employee manual, they got the rules, they got a system set in place. You got to create all that stuff for yourself. All that stuff had to be made for yourself. So when we start looking at it, you have your mind. I'm gonna do these things a certain way. But if you don't have them systems and stuff in place, you're gonna have a problem. That's just the harsh reality with that. Sacrifice, not punishment, is the buy-in for your success. It's not punishment, it's the buy-in for your success. If you want to be here, these are the things you got to do. Not, well, I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to do it that way. That shit will never happen. It won't happen. I mean, you can feel like that. You can dream like that, but it won't happen. Do it your way. See how it work out for you. You don't waste a lot of time and money that you can't get back, okay? Just keep in mind, you got to have that sacrifice. What's going on right here? Yeah, hold on one second with me. See what's going on. We got a little fuzzy stuff going on. Okay, cool. We good on that. If you're serious about entrepreneurship, changing things in your life with your business, your family and stuff like that, and you're ready to take some real steps, I want y'all to tap into the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. I ain't asked you to buy a damn thing. We got over 1,500 videos on the YouTube channel, 1,500 videos covering entrepreneurship, investing. I know a lot of people come to the channel for the grants. We got over at any given time 150 different grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. But a lot of great information there. 50, business operation, business management, financial information in regards to different analysis and stuff. We give it from perspective of somebody that did it and been doing it for a long time. I always say, guys, hey, y'all can Google me. Y'all can look at the LinkedIn, go to the websites and all this other kind of stuff. Everything credible, everything verifiable. I ain't making up no shit. That's why I can tell you, things that I done messed up with, things I done did well with. And I can just say, well, hey, man, try it. I'm like, no, I don't think that's going to work. I can be real with you on that kind of stuff, right? I break down I break everything down from the budget, the business plan, the taxes and stuff like that. So make sure you go by the YouTube channel, subscribe. Even what platform you're looking at right now, we're pretty much on everything: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. But the main hub is the YouTube channel. All the videos and everything are there. But go there and take advantage of the information, man. But definitely tonight, we're talking about with the market crash in 2026. Tune in to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube tonight at 8 p.m. Look forward to seeing you guys. We're gonna still be on all the other platforms, but definitely go there, subscribe. If you caught on one of the other platforms, you can catch it there as well. But the whole inventory and library of all the videos and stuff is on the YouTube channel. That's the best way to catch it. Probably the best vantage point for the cameras and all that stuff. But I appreciate everybody tuned in. Been a great conversation and everything. If y'all got any questions or you came in on the tail end, again, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and subscribe to the channel and check out the video in its full entirety. Y'all be safe out there. And again, I'll see you guys at 8 p.m. Take care. I'll talk with you soon. Peace. Mm-hmm.